Hey everyone, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. Let's dive right in. The title of the video is The First Commandment, Knowing God and the Path to Redemption. It all starts with the intention. Here we go. Before any law is given, before any instruction about how to live with others or how to structure society, the Torah begins with a simple yet world-changing declaration. I am the Lord your God. This is the first commandment, not merely a statement of belief, but the foundation upon which all spiritual life rests. It is the recognition that there is a living God who is intimately involved with humanity, who frees us from bondage, and who calls us into relationship. Today we explore the principles, power, and effect of the first commandment, and why it is essential for bringing personal and collective redemption. This teaching is universal for every person who has ever searched for meaning, freedom, or a deeper connection to the source of life. Rooted in the eternal Torah and illuminated by the profound insights of Hasidic masters, we will discover that truly knowing God is the beginning of all healing and the gateway to a redeemed world. First commandment opens with the words, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Notice what is emphasized. God does not introduce himself only as the creator of the universe, but as the one who personally redeems. The foundation of the relationship is not abstract philosophy, it is lived experience of liberation. This commandment establishes two essential truths. First, that there is one God who is the ultimate reality. Second, that this God is your God, personal, involved, and committed to human freedom. The mention of Egypt is not incidental. Egypt represents all forms of bondage, physical slavery, emotional oppression, and the inner constraints that keep a person from living in dignity and purpose. By placing this declaration first, the Torah teaches that everything else, ethics, justice, ritual, community, flows from the recognition of God's presence and sovereignty. Without this foundation, the other commandments risk becoming empty structures. With it, they become to life of meaning and holiness. The first commandment is therefore both a revelation and an invitation to know God, to trust God, and to allow that knowledge to reshape every aspect of existence. Chassidtic masters saw the first commandment as the deepest root of spiritual life. The Baal Shem Tov taught that the essence of the commandment is not only intellectual belief, but a living awareness that God is present in every moment and every detail of life. When this awareness takes root, the soul begins to experience true freedom. In Hasidic thought, the house of bondage is not only historical Egypt. It is any state in which the divine spark within is constricted by fear, by ego, by addiction, to external validation, or by forgetfulness of the source. The first commandment is the call to leave that inner Egypt. It is a decision to recognize that there is a higher reality and to orient one's life toward it. The Alter Rebbe explained that the knowledge of God is the foundation of all avoda, or divine service. When a person internalizes that God is the only true existence, the grip of material anxiety and self-centeredness begins to loosen. This is the beginning of personal redemption. And because every soul is connected to the whole, each individual's deep recognition of God contributes to the collective redemption of the world. The first commandment is therefore not a private theological statement, it is a redemptive force that heals both the individual and the larger human story. The principles and power of the first commandment carry profound spiritual significance for every soul. First, it establishes true freedom. Recognizing God as the ultimate reality liberates us from the tyranny of lesser powers and false securities. It creates inner stability. When the soul knows its source, external instability loses much of its power to destroy hope. It awakens personal relationship. God is not only the distant creator, but your God, intimately involved in the journey of each person. It becomes the foundation of all ethical life. Right action flows most naturally from a living connection with a source of all goodness. It accelerates redemption. Every soul that deepens its awareness of God adds light to the world and helps draw the collective closer to its perfected state. How can we internalize and live the first commandment? Well, begin with awareness. Start the day by quietly affirming there is a living God who is present with me. Remember personal liberation. Reflect on moments when you experience freedom or guidance and let them strengthen your trust. Just like God was there for you at that point, he will be there for you again. We just have to return. Choose relationship over abstraction. Speak to God simply and honestly, as one would to a caring presence. Examine inner bondage. Notice that what still enslaves the heart, fear, resentment, addiction to control, and bring those areas into the light of divine awareness. Align actions with the knowledge of God. Let the recognition of a higher reality guide decisions, speech, and promises. And then return often. Whenever you feel disconnected, gently return to the awareness that God is near. The first commandment is the beginning of all spiritual life and the foundation of redemption. Personal redemption, collective redemption, right? To know God truly, personally, and continually is to step out of every form of Egypt and into a life of meaning, freedom, and hope. This week, take one quiet moment each day to remember the first commandment. Let the words, I am the Lord, your God, settle into your heart. Notice how this awareness begins to reshape your inner world. If this teaching strengthened your spirit, share in the comments. How do you experience the presence of God in your daily life? Or where are you seeking greater freedom? Like if these words brought light and clarity to your soul. Subscribe for more explorations of Torah and Hasidic wisdom made alive for our time and turn on notifications. May you know God more deeply. May the knowledge free you from every form of bondage. May your life become a living expression of the first commandment and a quiet force for the world's redemption. Until next time, remember the source, walk in freedom, and let the divine light guide your way. Everyone be healthy, be happy, be blessed. Happy Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you tomorrow. That being said, what we acknowledge God and let just a little bit of room for Him, to occupy in our desires, in our hearts, in our like who we are. I'm not saying you have to become an angel. It's not about walking around as an angel, but it is about being connected because from there everything else becomes elevated. From there, everything else you do now becomes a holy endeavor, spiritual endeavor. So that awareness and that presence. Everyone, be well. Wishing you a great day. Thanks so much.